Now, immigration and asylum seekers have been central issues in this election campaign, but do they concern people everywhere, even when immigration numbers differ greatly from country to country? An election campaign survey reveals surprising results when comparing attitudes in the United States and Australia. Professor Geoffrey Garrett is the Chief Executive of the US Studies Centre at the University of Sydney, and he joins us now from Sydney. Professor, good morning and thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Virginia. It's my pleasure.
First of all, before we get down to this survey and the work that was done and the comparisons that you make, take us through just how many immigrants or asylum seekers the US might receive in any given year.
Well, it's hard to do the given year in the US, but the US Census believes that there are more than 11 million people in the United States without legal visas. Almost all of those people enter the US from Latin America, and most of them across the large porous border between the US and Mexico. So it's a really big phenomenon, but there are lots and lots of legal Latinos in the US as well.
So that's the illegal immigration. I know that's what this survey looked at, but just to add to this discussion this morning, off the top of your head, do you know what the legal migration quota is in the United States, if that averages out over a year?
Yeah, I know that number is being debated in Australia at the moment. I don't think the US does quotas for all immigration. They do for some categories like skilled migration. But if you use the broadest indicator, which is the percentage of foreign-born people in the country, that percentage is actually a little higher in the US than it is in Australia. And I think looking forward, interestingly, whereas Australians are viewing immigration as a problem, a challenge for the country, Americans still tend to view immigration as part of the solution for skilled labour, for solving healthcare costs and an ageing population. So I think even at the level of overall immigration, there is a bit of a divergence between the US and Australia at the moment.
Although where there isn't a divergence, and let's get down to the figures that were put together as part of this survey that was commissioned by the United States Studies Centre at the University of Sydney and also in conjunction with Stanford University, 76% of Australians surveyed believe that increasing numbers of asylum seekers and illegal immigrants are an important problem. 71% rate it as a problem in the United States. Now, that's not much of a difference, is it?
Well, in the survey jargon, it is a statistically significant difference. But I think, at least for me, the surprising thing was that those numbers are higher in Australia, even though the number of asylum seekers per year in recent years in Australia has only been about 30,000. Contrast that with this 11 million figure in the US, which is really, it's more than 3% of America's total population. So the fact that the concern is higher in Australia on that much smaller base of illegal migrants, or in Australia's case asylum seekers, is, I think, quite striking.
Well, look, I'm not a researcher, so it's not for me to quibble, but nonetheless, 76 versus 71, I mean, I would have thought that maybe for a country that had that porous border as a reality day and night and had, for more than 200 years, that figure might have even been a bit lower in the United States about it being such a problem.
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. I think that maybe we need to go to the next level of this, which is the partisan politics. So there are a lot of people who are concerned, but in Australia it seems that the concern is a plus for the coalition, whereas in the US the concern actually translates into what the Democrats are doing at the moment, which is saying that they need to find a legal path for undocumented Latinos in the country, because there seems to be a bigger electoral constituency in the US for a path to legalisation, whereas in Australia the story is all about raising the borders and border security. So that's why I think Labor and the Gillard government has tried so hard in this campaign to neutralise the issue by being seen to be strong on asylum seekers.
Geoffrey Garrett, look, it really is a bit of research that warrants delving into and further analysis, so thanks so much for joining us today.
Oh, it was my pleasure, Virginia. Thank you.